she had a belt that could shatter. That could shatter glass. She had like this voice that was just this in your face. Deal with it. This is what's happening to you right now. And one of the greatest things that I got to watch happen with her, her name's Karina Gill. She's the daughter of Amy Grant Gill, those very famous singers. Was to watch her learn to have total control over what she gave anyone. Right? So she sang this. You guys know the song Fever? She did this performance of Fever where when she first sang it, it was just, you heard it all, you heard the whole time of power. And then I urged her, which I'm about to do for you, to just restrain until that last chorus. And there were people crying in the audience. Now, what do you think in this song is the biggest moment of the song? Yes, the amen, right? Okay. So now, I'm gonna ask you to do it again from the beginning. There's a couple of things. Wish we had. Do you guys have coffee stirrers? Like with straws? You ever talked to one of those?
I do that every day.
Can you give me a couple things?
He said every guy the whole thing, don't worry. Dave's just like that.
Oh my gosh, I didn't even do it in vocal practice. I did it for band.
I tried it because I saw it on TikTok.
So, what we're about to do, you have part of what makes a voice resonant or not is how much of their nasal cavity they're filling, right? So, for example, if your larynx is low, ooh, we're going to just ooh, like ooh, yeah. That produces a very dark kind of oh, and a lot of opera singers, there's very low lyrics, right? Not a lot of bright nasal resonance, but there's resonance in another square. And then you got this thing, oh yeah, which you got a lot of, right? You got it because it's bright, it's resonant, and a lot of things can kind of pop there. Right? So I'm going to challenge you to find the balance between the two. What we're about the exercise we're about to do is perfect for that, where you can bring in some of that nasal resonance to help ease the phrases and things, but at your discretion, and it's not the thing that you're solely relying on. Does that make sense? So we're not going to go full like opera, the Lion from Wizard of Oz. You seen the Wizard of Oz? Okay. Well, also it's the same kind of level. I think they're important. The boy was murdered today to get back to school. So, okay. Do this one. See, what's the first phrase?
Lord, thy will.
Good. Now, pay attention to where that Lord is. Sing Lord, sing it out there.
Lord,
Pay attention to how that feels. Lord, and try to stay right there all the way up. I will. Right, go.
Lord, thy will.
Keep going. Stay right there.
My eyes to the hill.
Yeah. Does that feel a little bit different? So instead of to the, it's a little bit more like here. We got some. Little ones. That'll work. All right. There you go. Okay. I want you to sing from the beginning. Oh, these are just not to see what your tapes are now. Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
No, good. Okay. Huh? No, that's all good. Okay? I want all of your sounds to travel through the center of this straw. None of it gets to escape from your nose. Actually, in fact, once you take a big breath, cover your nose. Well, it's not right now, when you gotta breathe. We'll take a deep breath through your nose, and then you'll sing through here. Okay? Now, when we breathe, we don't reserve Re-inflate here. Engage your core. Your abs should be tight when you sing because that means that everything's well supported. Everything else should be totally relaxed. Okay? Can we play the track from another beat? Okay? You're not using words. You're just gonna like basically hum through the straw. Everything you're singing. Make sense? Good, now, thank you. Do that phrase again. You're going to do the same thing. When I pull the straw, sing words. But your job is to maintain that same sensation that you have when you're singing through the straw. We're not going to use this the whole song because there are points in the song where you definitely want to hit that mix that you were doing earlier, right? And get into that belt range. Because that's like power, right? But you're going to decide where that happens. Go from the beginning. See my eyes to the hills here. I don't think those are the pitches. Let's go back a little bit. Relax. Keep it here. Say the words. Do you hear the difference? Do you feel the difference there on the notes? What's that? And we're just pulling it ever so slightly. That's a lot of music out of it. Yes, down here. Focus your tongue coming out of here. No. Yeah. Sing hills are here. Sing hills. No, not really sing the hills. Do it. Do it again. Memorize the feeling. Breathe and sing it. Yeah. Do it again. Same phrase, same place. With music. Do you get what I'm saying? Do you feel when you switch over to your nasal cavity? Can you feel that? Good. Now sing it again all over the stop. Words? Yeah, so if you sing and it completely changes the sound when you cover your nose, that means that you're putting a lot of stuff here. Does that make sense? And so that's your cue to come on back to your vocal folds. Let's do it again. Keep the same sensation. We're going here. Here's the real, well, we don't have to put it. Here's the real challenge. The real challenge is in restraint of volume for the song. Okay? So how do you maintain the same like power, almost like a hush, like a I'm gonna whisper. Okay? Right? Now, did I raise the volume of my voice? No. Both were whispers. But one was a lot more sensitive, right? I hate the idea that piano or soft means laughter, right? You can have the same resonance. Yeah, and you don't have to go full opera, but to keep that same sensation, right? And go somewhere, always go somewhere. Every note should be going this way or this way, right? Every note should have direction. Notes are not created equal. Sorry to say. It's very sad. It's a sad world, cruel world for notes, right? Every note should be making some progression somewhere. It's either getting louder or it's getting softer. And the music won't always tell you that. The paper won't always tell you that. It'd be exhausting for composers to write every time that there's an implied crescendo or crescendo. That's for you, the interpreter, the singer, the performer, to determine, right? Where is this phrase going? So what's the first thing you sing? Tell me the words. Lord.
I will lift mine eyes to the hills.
Now say it as a phrase. Say it as one phrase. If you were praying, what would you say? Lord.
I will lift mine eyes to the hills.
You would break it up like that. Lord, I would lift mine eyes to the no. You would say, Lord, I will lift mine eyes to the hills. Wouldn't you? So what's the point of the phrase? Which word? That's the beginning of the phrase. It's the most important part of the phrase because who you're talking to, sure, right? But I mean in terms of the overall sentence. Say it again. Close. Say it again. Lord.
I will lift my eyes to the hills.
Lord, I will lift my
Eyes
yeah.
to
So
the
I think eyes might be good. Lord, I will lift mine eyes. Right?
the
And then where? What are you lifting?
eyes.
Yeah. So can you sing this phrase again? And build energy towards the word eyes. Let's sing it again and then feel, remember the sensation. Don't switch back into your nasal cavity. Alright, do it again.
Lord, I will
Good. I feel like I've already got it. Right?
Yeah, I
So
forgot the
restraint. Yeah. Try again. Let's get
That's
it.
We can put trend.
here, I think if we have the volume right there, we still get the power of that part of your range because the song's going to bring you there. You're going to cut through the recording just fine. But then when you go sing the amens later, it feels more powerful by contrast. Does that make sense? So try to do you are at that volume no louder.
You are!
Let's do it with the track. Yeah, if we can find it somewhere close.
You are the source of my strength.
You can wait for it.
You are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to you.
Let's darken it up a little bit. So, still with that same, we're still going there, the same support. Let's see if you can bring it back just a little bit darker on that. Amen. Can you go from there? Big breath. Great. Yeah, and I would darken the last little bit as well. Just a little, just for the sake of your audience's ears. Good. So it's powerful and it's impressive. You also want to make sure that it's under control. So let's go back. Beginning of the amen. So I was saying restrain because you know you're going to the very, very end is really the most powerful thing, right? It's a huge mixed thing that you're doing, right? So I would just hold. It's like imagine a little glass ball. Okay. Have you guys ever seen those? They're really big in the 90s and like 2000s. These big glass balls with electricity inside. Yeah, and you touch it, it follows your hand, right? Okay, so I want you to imagine that your voice is one of those, right? But it's movable. So what happens to that thing if it's bigger? What happens to the electricity? Is it
more volume.
yeah? Is it wilder or is it calmer? Do you think? If the ball is expanded, what do you think happens to electricity? Actually, I think it would just spread out, and it'd have to cover a larger distance, right? So it would probably be a little bit more relaxed, right? If you condense the space, what happens? Imagine the electricity. It has to bounce a little bit faster, right? Okay, so I want you to imagine your voice as one of those, right? And when you're singing the amens, you're not giving them the volume. This would be volume, right? But there's energy in your voice. So maintain that support and that energy. And then as you get further and further into the amens, release little by little your volume. Does that make sense? So that by the time you get to the end, it's supported, it's not chaotic, it's really supported, but it's nice and heavy. It's a nice and heavy weighted supported song. Go from the beginning of the amens. Yeah, do it with your hands if you want. Yeah, whatever helps you. to leave you with. If there's one thing that I can leave all 3 of you with, it's that music is all about tension and release. In every facet, tension and release. So there's tension and release in rhythm, right? You might have rhythm that's a song that starts up, and as it goes, where the rhythm kind of contracts, and there's this tension and release there. You have tension and release obviously in harmony, where you might have. There's tension in harmony, right? But there's also tension in sound and silence, right? I hate the word rest. You know, you have notes and we have rests. I hate that because it's not really rest. It's just rhythmic silence, right? So there's tension in that there's sound and then there's silence. You see, and that does something to you as an audience member. When you hear sound and there's silence, and then there's tension and release in volume. And we are in charge of all of that, pretty much, except for the stuff that's on the page, right? Like the notes of it. Right? We're in charge of volume, we're in charge of our tempo, all these things. So, your challenge is in whatever song you're singing, to find what are the points of tension and release. Where do I want to hold tension? You have to be comfortable with tension as a singer, as a performer. It's part of being an artist, right? Where do I want to hold